The movie opens with Margaret, a district attorney in New York, panicking in a hotel suite. Margaret hooked up with a kid in his 20s who died by accident in the hotel. She calls a professional fixer who comes over to her hotel room. He asks Margaret if she called anyone. She assures him she didn't do any of that and asks him if he can make this accident disappear. The fixer replies he's the best at his work. Suddenly, they both hear a knock on the door, and a man walks inside. He reveals that he's also a fixer and here to help Margaret. Margaret's fixer asks who called him, and he points to a secret surveillance camera. Suddenly, the hotel phone rings, and a lady who's surveilling the hotel strikes a deal with Margaret. She now puts the phone on speaker, and the lady reveals herself to be the owner of this hotel, named Pamela. Pam reveals she called her own fixer because she wants her hotel's image to remain safe. Margaret also wants that because she's a DA, so they want both of the fixers to work together. Both men disagree, so Pam's man tries to reason with her while Margaret wants her man to stay, because she was told that when he takes the job, he gives his word. Pam convinces her man to cooperate while Margaret reminds her man that he's been caught on camera. Both fixers forcefully comply and ask about Margaret's incident. Margaret reveals she met the kid in the hotel bar downstairs. She reveals she liked him and booked a room so they both can hook up. After a few drinks, the kid started jumping on the bed and fell on the bar cart and died. The fixers give Margaret new clothes and send her home so they can clean her mess. Margaret's man starts bagging the kid, but notices Pam's man is just chilling, slurping drinks, and not helping him. Margaret's man disposes of evidence from the suite, while Pam's man finds the kid's backpack. They check it out and find drugs in the bag. They contact Pam for help, but she doesn't want any trouble coming near her hotel, so she orders them to deliver the drugs to its drop location.
You'll find out who those drugs belong to, and you'll return them.
Both fixers are lone wolves and very competitive, so Margaret's man decides to fix things himself. He efficiently tapes the corpse and hangs it on the trolley, disguising it as laundry. They take the evidence with them as well and head down to the parking lot. There, Pam's man cuts the security camera feed to distract the guard. Margaret's man now brings his car inside the lot and smoothly puts the body in his trunk. He now wants to personally erase his surveillance footage, but Pam's man refuses, stating he was specifically ordered to ensure he does it alone. Meanwhile, the dead kid wakes up. They realize he was on drugs and not dead, so they knock him out. They start arguing because Pam's man doesn't believe Margaret's man checked the kid's pulse. They both realize the kid can tell them about the drop location of the drugs and decide to sober him up first. Margaret's man calls his medic, but his call goes unanswered. Pam's man suggests meeting his medic guy, who's in Chinatown. On their way, Margaret's man deduces that the Albanian mobsters recently had some of their newly imported shipments stolen, and this kid's boss might be responsible for it. They arrive at their spot, so Pam's man keeps a drug brick to himself for assurance, while Margaret's man keeps a brick to himself. We meet the medic guy, and it's a woman named June. Pam's man thinks June was her exclusive helper, but it turns out she is also Margaret's man's contact. June is only concerned about the kid who has OD'd, so they bring him inside from the back alley. June examines the kid and realizes he has almost no pulse, so he must have been on very pure drugs. Both fixers start arguing again regarding June's relationship with them.
Okay, both of you out, now.
So she forces them to head out. So, they both drink together, and Pam's man reveals June saved his life, and he recovered at her place. Meanwhile, Margaret's man realizes he was here when June helped Pam's man, but didn't let them meet. Suddenly, they see the kid running away, so the old-timers chase him. He breaks into a mall where Pam's man chases him on foot, while Margaret's man circles to the mall's exit in his car. The kid escapes the mall and runs into Margaret's man. He jumps before the hit and, in slow motion, lands on his feet. He runs away again, and the seniors are having a hard time chasing him. The kid enters a bridge and climbs up to the highway, but gets cornered there by both fixers. They put him in the car and drive back to June's place. She gives them medication for the kid and refuses to let them in her place. Later, they discuss where to take the kid for interrogation because they both don't want to reveal their secret places.
Sound like a guy who's got a place. You got a place. Let's go to your place.
I'm not going to my place.
Why not?
That's the point of having a place.
Exactly.
They give the kid Margaret's spare clothes and take him to a motel. Margaret's man takes the lead and decides to interrogate the kid. The kid acts dumb, so Pam's man loses patience and reveals they have his drugs. Both fixers step out of the room to strategize their interrogation techniques and end up threatening the kid with violence. It works. and the kid reveals the drugs belong to Lagrange, one of the biggest drug runners in the city. He reveals he's not a drug dealer and was only doing a favor to his college friend Diego. Diego works for Lagrange, but Diego's mom died yesterday, so the kid decided to help him out. Kid reveals he was on his way to deliver the drugs, but expertly used a little for himself. He felt good and entered a bar where he met Margaret, and next thing he remembers being in her apartment and falling on the cart. He reveals he was supposed to receive the drop location on a pager, which he has to pick up from a bar where Diego bartends. They drive to the bar, and on their way, the kid wonders if both fixers are partners. They arrive at the bar, and both men hear a Croatian song, realizing Dimitri, the Croatian gangster, is at the bar. They both reveal some of their previous jobs, which they both coincidentally did for Dimitri. They realize if Dimitri sees them together, he'll get them killed instantly, thinking they're conspiring against him. But both fixers still don't trust each other and decide all three retrieve the pager. They enter the bar discreetly from the back and realize Dimitri is throwing a wedding party for his daughter. Kid heads to the bar and finds his pager. No one hands him the pager, so he retrieves it himself and gets apprehended by the bar security. Both fixers try to head out to rescue the kid, but they forcefully get tangled in the Croatian kolo dance. There, they try to remain discreet, but Dimitri notices them. They quickly point guns at each other and act like they don't know each other. Dimitri diffuses the situation and takes their weapons. He takes them aside and scolds them for crashing his daughter's wedding party. Unknowingly, Dimitri falls for their act, thinking they both don't know each other, and lets them go. But his goon sees both fixers had identical guns and pins them as buddies. Margaret's man exits the bar and finds the kid sitting outside of his car with the pager. He reveals he didn't receive the address yet, so they head to a diner. While eating, the kid figures out that both men are professional fixers and are very similar to each other. He heads to the bathroom, and both men try to figure out how Lagrange got the drugs from the Albanians. Margaret's man thinks it's a setup where they might get shot after delivering the drugs to Lagrange. So they both agree to let the kid deliver the drugs, and if they let him go, they will shoot him themselves. The pager receives the address, but the fixers don't recognize the location. The kid recognizes the location, and they drive off. They reach the place and tell the kid to deliver the drugs while they wait for him outside. The kid is skeptical, but agrees. They watch the kid go inside the house, but suddenly, they see a bunch of people pulling up with guns. The fixers realize it's the Albanians who are here to finish Lagrange's men, but they get attacked by the Croatians. Dimitri's men rain fire on them as the fixers reverse their way out of this situation. Their car stops working due to the damage, so they head to the trunk. They retrieve weapons from the trunk and shoot the Croatians as they run out of ammo. The fixers hear gunshots from Lagrange's warehouse and head there. They see two wounded men coming out of the warehouse and die. They approach the warehouse and see an online tracker in the Albanians' car. In the warehouse, they find everyone dead. The Albanians and Lagrange's men took out each other. They look around and find the kid alive and hiding in the trunk of a limo. They realize they have to eliminate the kid, so they tell him to place the drugs in their places and abort. While the kid does that, Margaret's man tries to shoot him but, out of a change of heart, doesn't. So Pam's man fires his gun. Unexpectedly, he also didn't shoot the kid, but shot the drug brick, which reveals a tracker inside it. The fixers spare the kid's life and take the subway. They arrive at the kid's home, and he asks what to tell his father. The fixers tell him to forget about everything. Otherwise, they will kill him and his dad. The fixers meet with the kid's dad, who happens to be a Frank Sinatra fan. He asks why they are here, and the scene cuts to both fixers leaving for breakfast, while the kid's father is appalled, probably because they are seriously threatened by them. At the breakfast diner, the fixers wonder if Lagrange even stole the drugs or not, but they will never know who was behind it. Margaret's man decides to head out and asks Pam's man how Pam convinced him to work with him. He reveals because of his motto that he learned, which is, "You take a job, you give your word, and that word's the measure of a man." Margaret's man realizes he also follows that motto. He sits back, and they both figure out they work for the same guy who's the close friend of Margaret and Pam. He set them up to get shot by the Albanians because they both know too much about their employer. They both realize there are men waiting outside to shoot them, so they load their weapons and decide to share their names if they survive. In a post-credit scene, we see the kid meeting with Margaret and jumping on the bed, only to crash land on the cart. The movie ends here. I'm sure you liked the story recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.